What's happening, guys? Jim the Game Guru. Okay, today we got some happy little dinosaurs. Brand new title from Unstable Games. Super cute meeples. And it's a pretty simple game to play. So I'm going to go over the components and show you really quick on like a quick overview of how to play the game. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing or following. So let's dig into this. All right, so in Happy Little Dinosaurs, the main objective in this game is to be the first person that gets to the very end of your trail on your board, or to be the last dinosaur standing. Every player gets their own player mat here, and I'm gonna show you the meeples really quick because the meeples in this game are actually super cute. I love the meeples. And here we go. We have a Stegosaurus, Triceratops, a little baby T-Rex, and a Brontosaurus. So each meeple different color, and they all belong to a different board. So right there, every single dinosaur in this game will actually have like a little mini superpower. I'm going to go over here. Let's go over the board really fast. So in the board, you have your main trail that you go through, and the first person that goes all the way through and gets to 50 wins the game. Or if no one actually makes it to 50, it's the last dinosaur standing. And on this left side over here, you have special traits for your dinosaur. And this particular dinosaur says that if this natural disaster shows up, you get a +1 on your point cards. But if a predator disaster card comes up, you get a -1 on your point cards. And I'll get into the point cards here in a second. Over here, you have a disaster pile that you're going to put down disaster cards as you go through the rounds. What you try to do in this game is you try to avoid either 3 disaster cards of the same type or 3 different unique disaster type cards. There's emotional disaster, there's natural disaster, and then there's predator disaster. Those 3 are the disasters. If you get 1 of each, you're out. Or if you get 3 of 1, you're out. And what you do is you stack them as you get them throughout the rounds. You stack them right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you really quick. I have a 3-player setup right here. So you have the main deck here, which has the point cards and the ability cards are right here. This is your disaster deck. So let's just flip through here and I'll show you some of the point cards here. Some point cards will actually have extra abilities as well. So like for example, this Dino Grabber is you may look at another player's hand, choose a card and add it to your hand. So as you play these cards for your scoring, you can use their abilities. We got like these cards right here, like instant cards with the exclamation points. So after you lay down your point cards, you can actually have other abilities that you can resolve instantly that will change your score. Score inversion changes the highest and lowest point cards in the round. But the artwork is very typical to Unstable Games. They have this cute, cartoony style artwork, just like in Unstable Unicorns. All right, so just continue to go through here. Fire Spray, Handy Pan, just a lot of different point cards that have different abilities. I really dig the artwork in this game. I like how simple this game is. This game is pretty simple for the most part. There are times where you're going to have issues with resolving ties or scoring. That could be a problem in this game. So there you go. So those are a lot of the point card stuff. I do have the 5 to 6 player expansion. I'm going to show you guys that as well. So here are some of the disasters. So we got Meteor. Meteor actually counts as either one of these 3 types, natural, predator, or emotional disaster. Then you have these emotional disasters, and there's your natural. So these are all different ways that your dinosaur could die. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that down. Now, I have dealt out 5 cards to each player here. And let me show you the expansion here, because I did get the 5 to 6 player expansion before we dig into this gameplay. All this does, this actually changes the rules a little bit. A very tiny bit. So what happens is in this game, the person with the highest points in the round will actually move their dinosaur along the path based on the points in their hand on their card. But this expansion will actually change it that the top 2 people will end up moving along the path based on their point cards. So I'll just show you some of the disasters here. So this will just have additional disaster cards. Of course, some more meteors and additional point cards. There we go. Some additional point cards here. So pretty much the resolution of points at the end of the round is the only thing that's really, really different. Then there's some resolution of the ties that are different with this 5 to 6 player expansion. But it tells you that in the manual. So this expansion will come with a baby tiny manual that will tell you what the differences are with the scoring over here. So the 2 dinosaurs in this one are some more cute meeples. You have a, looks like another T-Rex type and a pterodon. There you go. So those 2 are added to the game. Their mats are going to be the same type of way like with the other ones with special abilities. So if we look at this one, the pterodactyl one, if it's any of these disaster cards, a +1 to their score. If it's the natural, -2. And then if we look at the other T-Rex, I'm guessing it's another T-Rex. That's a raptor, actually, Velociraptor. Then you get +2 for Predator, and then the other ones, any of the other ones, give you a -1. So that's what the expansion gives you. One thing I really, really hate about this game right off the get-go is that they knew they had the 5-player expansion because I pre-ordered this with the base game and the 5-player expansion, and they didn't have enough space in the box to add the expansion, which kind of irritates me. So there is an insert in here. You can probably pull the insert out and then rearrange the box inside with the 5 to 6 player expansion. But they already knew they were going to sell the 5 to 6 player expansion. Why didn't they make this box, the base game box, a little bigger so you can put the extra boards in there? I feel like that was an a huge miss on their part. Okay, so each player has a hand here. I'm just going to do a couple rounds here. It's very, very easy. So what you do is everyone picks a card, basically, in secret. So we'll do this, a 7. And this person here is going to do, an 8. We'll do an 8 here. And then this person over here is going to do, what are they going to do? I don't know. We'll do a 3. And this one has a special ability. So they're going to play the 3. They're going to play the 8, okay? So everyone picks in secret a card. Once everyone's ready, well, actually, the first thing we do is we got to flip over disaster card, and there you go. That's the disaster card. It's going to be added to somebody's board. So now everyone really reveals a card. And by the way, if there's any time where a single person does not have a point card in their hand, you have to trash your entire hand and draw 5 new cards, which is good, but it's also very, very bad because if you have a card, I don't know if this person has a card in here for anything, like special instant cards where you can avoid disasters or you can add to your score or whatever, and you want to hold on to those for strategical reasons, you can't. You actually have to ditch your entire hand in order to get new cards with points. So that's one thing that's kind of a little frustrating in this game, that you can't hold on to your cards for strategical purposes. Okay, so the person that has the most points in this particular round is this person over here. They have 8. But let's take a look at these point cards that have abilities. So this one right here, 7, is you may look at the top 2 cards in the deck, choose a card and add it to your hand, discard the other card. This one over here says you may discard a point card with an effect from your hand, then add it, then it adds value to your score this round. Ooh, wow. But I don't think this person has enough points with the other ones. Oh, well, they have an 8, but they won't want to discard that, or a 2. So they're just going to sit on that. So this one here, this ability says I can look at the top 2, and then we'll add that to my hand. The other one gets discarded. Okay, so this person is the winner of this particular round. So they move up 8. So their dinosaur meeple moves up 8 onto their board. Really, really simple. This person is the loser. So the loser gets this card right here. And let me look at the abilities. Oh, but there's one thing. There's one thing that I forgot, is that this person right here has a +1 whenever there's a Predator card out. So they add +1 to their scorecard, this was a 7 and this is an 8. So it's a tie with this person. So the cool thing is you're going to look at the disaster cards before you play your card. And then that will kind of tell you which card you should play. Because in this particular instance, he played this one, which worked out because of his ability. This person also moves up 8 because they were tied with this person for the highest points. Now, there is a sudden death to this game, but the sudden death is only for people that have the lowest point cards, that are tied for the lowest point cards in the game. This card's going to move over to this person's pile over there. So, now one thing about the disaster cards that are in your player mat, they're not completely horrible. And the reason being is because at the end of the round, you move up 1 space per disaster card in your mat. This person has 1, so they move up 1. So as you accumulate disaster cards in your pile, and if you're not out of the game yet, there are going to be times where you will score and win the round, but then you'll also add point values for how many disaster cards you have. And so it's going to be your point cards that you play and win, plus the extra from the disaster cards. So it enables you to move up the track even faster. All right, so this person, let's go ahead and draw another one. So they draw another one, go to the 5, because you have to draw back up to get to 5 again. There you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and play one more round. I mean, that's how easy this game is. It's very, very simple. The only times it gets confusing is when you have to resolve ties or resolve the points. Sometimes there's certain effects, and then there's certain times there's effects that happen during the round or during scoring. So anytime you get a point card that has an effect that says during this round, that happens before the scoring, before any of the point card effects take effect. And the ones that say during scoring are when you tally up, you evaluate the scores of each player. Let's see, what am I going to do here? I am probably going to play I might do a 0 here for the pet rock, okay? And this person over here is going to do what? They're going to go ahead and do, I don't know, they'll do a cool stick. Oh, and they got a disaster redirect card too, all right? So here you go. This person over here is going to do what? Let's do an 8. They're going to do a hungry plant for 8. So let's throw that down. Okay, so let's go ahead and resolve the next disaster card. It's going to be an emotional one, ghosted. Okay. So we all reveal the cards. Pop, 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 pop. That card has no ability. This is the highest card right now, is an 8. But let's take a look at the 8 and 0. So the 0 says you may discard a point card from your hand, then add its point value to your score this round. But I don't have anything high in my hand in order to beat the 8. Okay? And if we take a look at this one, Hungry Plant, you may swap the point card of any 2 other players. Oh, wow. It says we may, but we're not going to. And I'm not going to use the ability from this. So this person is going to end up getting the disaster card. But let's see, do we have anything here? Do we have anything here? No, we don't have any kind of instance or anything we can use. So this person ends up getting the disaster card right there. That person moves up 8 on their tracker. So they're now at 9. This person stays where they're at. Oh, but this one also gets a +1 for emotional. So he actually had a 9. So he moves all the way up to 10 because of his +1 of his ability. Nobody else had any abilities with that. And this one actually had a -1. So he's -1. That's crazy. All right. So these go all into the discard pile. Now we all draw up to 5. Let's see. 1. And they got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we all draw up to 5. And that is really how you play this game. It's really, really, really simple. All you do is you put point cards down. Everyone selects a point card. You put it down. See who has the highest, and then whoever has the highest moves up the rank. Whoever has the lowest gets the disaster card, and you're just trying to avoid disaster cards. Now, even though the mechanics here are very simple, where the strategy takes place is how you use your instance and your effect cards on your point cards. That is how you can turn somebody into like a super
an awesome card to like the lowest, because sometimes you can play an inversion and make them now the lowest, and now they are not going to move up the tracker anymore and somebody else will. Or you can do like a disaster redirect, and if you're going to get a disaster, you can play an instant card that will do disaster redirect, where you can either redirect it to the bottom of the disaster deck or redirect it to somebody else's pile. So you have to basically be very, very careful on how you use your effect cards and your abilities in order to manipulate what's going on every round, so that you are the only person that can move up the track effectively and get less disaster cards. And that's pretty much it. That's Happy Little Dinosaurs. It's a very, very, very simple game. Cute artwork. And I am out of here. I am Jim the Game Guru. I hope you liked this video. If you liked, please like. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing or following. All right. Bye.